Tell me a little bit, Josh, from your perspective, what pitching for the Knights, how important that was for you in your life and how it helped you and helped shape you a little bit, and just what you remember about pitching for the Corvallis Knights.
Well, just, like throw some more innings and stuff and get out there and work on some pitches and get used to the college environment and past high school where you really only need like one pitch and just learn how to pitch basically and let your defense play. In like high school, you just pretty much try and do everything yourself. So it's just basically becoming a team asset.
Yeah, Josh, and I remember, as you know, I was with you and Taylor Starr and with the group that summer calling the games. But I remember thinking, wow, watching you and Taylor deal that summer, you guys were, that in terms of just sheer development, I thought that you guys both had tremendous summers. Tell us specifically what you remember. You've touched a little bit on some of the big things, learning how to pitch, learning the team environment. But it just struck me that, before both you and Taylor, and you both have gone through so many things physically since then, that struck me as the summer when it was all just right in your world, physically and all of that. Do you kind of look back at that summer that way?
Yeah, it was pretty unreal. It was really fun, and that's when I actually first learned my changeup. I'd never thrown one before, and it worked out pretty well. And it was fun having Taylor there, and just it was basically just getting more innings. That's all, and just going out there. And then once you get the momentum going, it just kept going.
And winning, and the culture of winning, it's important. We were talking to J.K. Dykes here a little while ago, and we talked to Andy Jenkins and Brooke Knight a lot. I mean, it's different. It's a little different than, obviously, than what you did at Oregon State and what teams do in college baseball. But, Josh, when you guys got into the playoffs and into that championship series and you got the win in the championship game, I mean, you're competitors, right? I mean, that probably goes down as a great memory for you, I would think, to win a championship. Tell us what you remember about winning a title with the Corvallis Knights.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good because I'd never won anything in high school before, so that was my first time actually winning a championship. So it was a good feeling, just being able to get the call to go out there in the championship game and do the best I can for the team. Got to win.
John Warren along with Mike Parker coming to you from the Corvallis Knights World Headquarters, as Dan Siegel puts it, here in downtown Corvallis. Josh, did playing that summer and other summers, I don't know about your life prior to that as far as how often and how frequent you were, just it's constant baseball, but did that kind of give you, I mean, where you are now in single A ball, it must have prepared you for the long bus rides and never really putting the glove down all year long. Was that kind of the beginnings of that for you?
Yeah, I played football in high school too, so I didn't really play baseball year round, and it was a little different for me to ride the buses and all that. But then after that year, I didn't play during the summer because I had surgeries, so it was a little eye-opening, and then I'm really getting more of that till right now.
Josh Osich joining us, and again, I'll reiterate his numbers in a moment, and we'll get up to date with Josh about the great season that he's having. He had a great year last year. There was even some talk, from what I understand, about maybe even making the big club this year, and that I think that's not too far down the road for Josh Osich, former Beaver. I got to ask if you even remember, because so much has happened in your life, but I say to John and to others here on 1240 Joe Radio, Josh, that I remember the summer of 2008, not only for the championship and the bus rides and the fun, but my favorite day that summer might have been floating the Wenatchee River with you and with Starr. Do you remember that day at all? Do you remember that?
I do remember that. We went down the rapids and I lost the tube and I didn't have any shoes on, so you had to come save my tube.
That was a fun day, though. I'm glad you guys kind of played along with the old man on that one, because I love floating rivers. Now, Josh, let me ask you about 2 years ago, before we get up to date. I saw, and you gave all of us in Beaver Nation and Oregon State fans, one of the great memories that none of us will ever forget, when you threw the no-hitter on April 30th, 2011 at Jackie Robinson Stadium. You know that's the only 9-hitter known in the history of the program. As you look back now, 2 years later, Josh, do you still occasionally think about that, think about how it all was perfect that day, and just what do you remember most? And when you think about that day now, what comes to mind?
That's the greatest feat that I've had in my life, and I think about it all the time. And some of the guys on the team right now give me asked about it and all that. So it's brought up quite a bit. So I get to think about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, what's it like to transition from that? Because we've all got these stages in life where you close a door and you move on to the next phase, and you're in that next phase. Is it difficult to remember that and go from that to the long bus rides of single A ball? It must not be, because you're on the lower rung of a ladder that can take you really high.
Yeah, it's just like if you ever get into a struggle, you just always go back and look at your best points and what you've done already, and you just remember you just look at it and realize why am I not in that spot, and just you try and think about what you did then and try and just repeat it, and sometimes that'll get you out of a slump.
Hey, Josh, let me ask you about Nate Yeske, because when I think about you, I think about the Knights and the Rivers, but I think about how much you went through to get yourself back. Taylor Starr is still, you guys together have gone through so much, it's almost cruel sometimes to think about, but you are in a position now where I really do believe that you'll be a big leaguer soon. How much did Coach Yeske, who's still, of course, the pitching coach at Oregon State, tell me a little bit about how he helped you through that process? I know he loves you and talks about your toughness, your resiliency, but maybe you could share a little bit with us your thoughts about Coach Yeske.
He's a great pitching coach, and just he helped a lot on coming back, because he went through some arm injuries when he was playing, and Taylor helped mostly with the mental side, because he'd already been through it, and we helped each other, and because he had another one after that, and so just between the two of them, it worked out pretty well. Just keeps you keep pushing you, and keep you on the right path.
Josh Osich joining us, former Corvallis Knight, helped the Knights win the 2008 West Coast League Championship with Taylor Starr and Brooke Knight. Who'll be back again. It's the 7th season of Knights baseball coming up. June 4th, the season opener. June 12th, the home opener. Josh is on to pro ball, doing great things with the San Jose Giants. Before we let you go, I want to talk to you about your season this year, but one thought, Josh, from you about Beaver Baseball 2013. Do you keep tabs at all? Do you talk to guys? Are you checking in? Are you following this thing? Have you seen Gordon's catches? Have you seen some of the games on the Pac-12 networks? How much do you stay in touch, and what are your thoughts about the Beavers in 2013?
I check up on it all the time. I check every weekend to see how they're doing, and I saw Max's catch and everything, and those were unbelievable. And I talk to Taylor all the time. I got to see some of the guys when you guys were in Stanford. I came down because we're in San Jose, so it's not too far away, and I just came to visit everybody.
Yeah, I heard you were, excuse me, I was with my daughter Lydia was on the trip, and we were doing something, together, and I'm sorry that I missed you there, Josh, but I was glad to know you were kind of coming back and reconnecting. Does the club, from what you hear and talking to Taylor and everybody about it, it's got kind of a special feel about it? I think that they've got a shot to make a good run, and I know you'll check in as much as you can. Do you get that same sense and just being around guys? This is a pretty good group here this year.
Yeah. This is where they have good chemistry, and they've got the pitching and they've got the hitting. So now it's just going to come down to how bad do they want it. Pretty sure all it's going to come down to.
Josh, let me ask you before we let you go about you. I look at the numbers, and they tell me everything I feel like I need to know. 22 innings, 27 punch-outs, 4 walks. Now, it sounds to me, Josh, those numbers would indicate you're in a good place right now. Do you feel like you are? Do you have all your pitches in command, and is everything working for you right now the way you would like it?
Yeah, everything's going good right now. Just all my pitches working, just filling it up, and just making them earn it if they're going to get a hit.
4 saves. So how are you being used? What's your role?
The 4 saves for like the first month, because we weren't allowed to go back to back days. But we have a closer on our team, Hunter Strickland, and he's been our closer for the most part. And they have me like the 7th or 8th inning, so that's pretty much where they want me to throw.
And do you feel, Josh, okay about that? I mean, I know you started here in 11. Your season was unbelievable. You throw the no-hitter. You fill different roles when at Oregon State. But do you look at it as that you can kind of see the light at the end of that tunnel, which is the major league light, by being this guy in the 7th and 8th as a guy that can come in and blow some hitters down, as a left-handed matchup and setup guy? I mean, is that cool with you, whatever it takes to get to the big leagues, or do you see yourself a starter, or what?
Yeah, I feel most comfortable in the bullpen. 7th and 8th inning, I love pitching right there. Just getting a hold, keeping the team right there for the closer, and just doing my job. I love it.
Final thing, Josh, and that is how you balance being on a bus and grinding it out day to day to day to day and the vision of getting to the big league level. I mean, you got to kind of have both. You got to take care of business day by day, but do you feel you get a sense in talking to people and just your own sense of how well you're doing that that the club's giving you a pretty good look, and you may, as I say and others believe, get to the big league soon? What are your thoughts about keeping that all in balance?
I just got to keep going out there and do what I'm doing, and eventually, with luck, and if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'll get there soon.
You believe that, don't you? I mean, you envision yourself as a guy at the next level, right? I mean, that does kind of keep driving you, doesn't it?
Yep. You just keep a dream in front of you, and you just keep going for it.
Well, Josh, we're really proud of you and happy for you and glad that you've taken time. Thanks for coming by and visiting the guys in Palo Alto recently. Thanks for the no-hitter 2 years ago that none of us will ever forget.
The river ride.
Thanks for floating the river 5 summers ago. We look forward to seeing you in the big league soon. But keep up the great work there in San Jose, and thanks for taking time for us.
All right, thank you.